Good morning. Welcome to Walking in Love. I'm Melissa Whitkey. Thanks for joining me today. The title of my message today is Eat Your Kale. Doesn't sound like a very biblical message, does it? But it actually is a concept that we each need to learn. So where did I get this idea? I've been on this eating vegetables for breakfast kick. And it's kind of funny. So what I do is I take kind of a mix of vegetables, a lot of cruciferous vegetables, and I'll get to that why that is shortly. And I fill a big pan of vegetables and I just cook them up, and that's what I start my day with. That's what I eat. I'm doing this because my doctor told me I needed to eat more vegetables. Anyway, that's another issue. But so I'm doing this, and then so I've been showing it to different people, and I've had people say to me, "Wow, is that really what you want to eat?" And no, many times it is not what I want to eat. But that's the concept here. To be successful at life, to walk on the path that God wants you to walk on, you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do. Why? Because they're what you need to do to get to where you know you need to go. So this idea of eating your kale is really living, not living by your feelings is really what I'm talking about. It's living by a plan to move forward in life. Living by doing the things that you know you need to do to get to where you know you need to be. And that's the lesson for today, right? How many of us live our lives by how we feel? If I did that, I could tell you what, I wouldn't be working out every day. I wouldn't be eating as healthy as I do. I wouldn't be doing a lot of the things that I do. I wouldn't probably work as hard as I do because it's not always what I want to be doing. I probably wouldn't have a black belt in Kung Fu if I did always what I want to be doing. So that's the lesson. I think we all know it, but on some level, sometimes we forget it. I think eating is a big one for a lot of people. I know it is for me at times. I've had to really focus on what I wanted to achieve through eating well versus the actual process of eating. Now, I'm not a foodie, so I know, like for my husband, he loves food, and I know a lot of people do. That's not something for me that's a huge issue. But eating a bowl of vegetables every morning, or a big plate actually that I fill, takes effort. Because it's, again, my daughter this morning, it was funny. She was in making eggs and put cheddar cheese in them, and the smell of it, it was like, oh, that's really what I want to be eating today. But I said, you know what? No, I need to get my body in as good of health as I possibly can. My doctor says I need to eat more vegetables, so I'm going to stick with my daily breakfast vegetables for breakfast. But again, it's always that idea of pushing past what we want or may not want in a moment and doing what we know is best. And if we continue to do that, we'll get to places we could have never foreseen. Again, that's how I got my black sash in Kung Fu. I can tell you so many nights, especially, it's one thing when you're getting close to something, like you're really close to achieving something. It gets exciting again, and you're kind of like, okay, I know I can push through and get there. But when you're kind of like in the middle of things, that's where it gets a little bit harder. I remember so many nights, especially in the winter, coming home from work. It was dark out and it was cold out. And you come upstairs and you start taking your work clothes off, and you got a class in a half hour, 45 minutes. And you look over at your bed and you're like, I would love to put my sweats on right now and just curl up into my bed with a book or turn the movie on or something. I cannot tell you how many times I had to fight past that urge to do what I wanted to do, which was just to be lazy and climb into bed, versus what I knew I would feel good about later and would take me where I wanted to go. So the idea of eating your kale is just that. By the way, I'm not a big fan of kale. I add it into my morning vegetables now because I know it's good for me, and I'm trying to eat some different types of vegetables. But it's another good thing that's come of this is I've kind of cleansed my palate, because just eating vegetables, all I do is put a little olive oil, I put all my vegetables in the pan, and then I put a little sea salt on top because my doctor wants me to make sure I'm getting proper salt, especially in the summer. So I kind of feel like I've cleansed my palate. It also is really filling. It takes about a good half hour to eat the vegetables because there's so many of them, and the fiber and you're chewing and all that kind of stuff. So it does satiate you, but in a different way. It kind of feels different in my body, and I feel like I've cleansed my body over the past 3 weeks that I've been doing this. But again, I do it because it's good for me. I do it because I want the results of doing it. Is it what I always want to do? Absolutely not. So eat your kale, because I am, and I'm going to, I'm focused more on the results than I am on what I need to do to get there. Walking in love is exactly that. There's times where you're going to feel great about walking in love. You're going to want to help everybody. You're going to encourage everybody because you feel great about yourself. You feel great about where you are, and you're just having a great day, right? Those are the days where it's easy to eat your kale, to encourage people, to help people. But are you going to do it on the days when you really don't want to? That's really where we make strides and grow. For me, that's where I find my strength. When I push past what I want to do and instead do what's best for me, or what's consistent with something I'm working towards, that's where I feel best. That's where I, definitely have grown and learned something about myself, right? Pushing past our internal, obstacles we have in our thinking, in our personalities, and in our circumstances, is really where the growth occurs. So I hope you'll join me and eat your kale. Try it for breakfast, actually. It's actually really good, and then I feel like, okay, later if I'm may not want vegetables in another meal, like I think I've more than covered my vegetables that you're supposed to eat in a day with just my breakfast alone, which kind of feels good. It's another thing to feel good about yourself. I think I'm looking better. I think my skin is getting better. I think it's having good results in my physical body. But more than that, I just believe it helps me to feel stronger. It helps me to feel, more powerful. Because whenever I push through something, I feel better about myself. Whenever I push myself to do something that I haven't done before, that I know is good for me, that's helping me on my journey, I feel proud of myself. And these are the things that make us feel good about ourselves, right? I'm 55 years old. I'm about to turn 56, and I want to make sure that the second part of my life, whether it's second half or whatever, I plan to live till 100. That's my goal anyway. We'll see if God agrees. I want it to be about stretching and growing and doing more and encouraging people more and trying new things. I was just reading about new technology today, because that's what my job is, by the way. But there's so much to learn in every area of our lives, right? Whether it's my personal life, whether it's my physical journey. I'm trying to set new goals for myself with Kung Fu and Tai Chi, and lots of areas of my life. I'm excited about life. And so anyway, here's a concept that helps me. So look forward to next time. Have a great day. Have a blessed day. And I look forward to talking to you. Take care.